The only thing necessary for evil to succeed is for good men to do nothing. It's important that people wake up to what is going on. It's time that we read the Constitution. It is error that needs the support of government. Truth can stand alone. That was given to us by Thomas Jefferson. Well, thank you everyone for tuning in. My name is still Daniel Hapney, and this still is The Real Story. One of my favorite sayings, or at least when I started the show, I always would ask you, the viewer, to follow the money. Don't believe me. Follow the trail of money. Find out who's behind all the things that you see in news, and especially think for yourselves. So I want to start off with a little revelation, and I'm going to reveal my Tyranny Response shirt. You know, as a viewer, you haven't seen this for a while, but I want to make sure that you still knew that we were part of the Tyranny Response team. Why that's important. The first time I wore that shirt was at a Tea Party. Now I know everybody thinks the Tea Party's because now they've been taken over by the Republican Party, right? You know, Tea Party Nation, all this lies with Glenn Beck that, I'd say almost criminal, you know, he's like a conspirator. Why? Because he's such a phony. But, not to get down on the Beckster, what I was trying to say was the first time we wore this shirt was at the first Tea Party. And the first Tea Party was here in Boston. It was for 9/11 Truth. Yeah, kind of interesting, huh? And then what comes along after that were the Ron Paul Tea Parties. And then, quote, the Tea Party movement started. And, you know, they what's their thing, taxed enough already. We'll get into that as the show goes. But I just want you to remember that, yes, you too can become a member of the Tyranny Response team. And you too can make certain that your grandchildren have a great republic to grow up in. So we'll start with the show, like I said, following the money. The first one I wanted to go over with you, and I thought it was interesting, because all of a sudden we have the FDIC, Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation, right? We know that they're running out of money, okay? But these banksters, you know, who controls them? What's the money behind all this, okay? This rogue criminal government we have. Check this out. They plan to take your pensions. I know you don't want to believe me. Take a look, because I'm not the guy saying it. They want to take your pensions, your 401ks, okay? They want to take your IRAs, and they want to say, hey, you people that control all that money, like the guy who controls CalPERS and stuff, we want you to invest in these toxic assets. Now remember, who created this bubble, this period of great liquidity? And meanwhile, all those same people are benefiting, huh? Wasn't it the banker bailouts where they gave them your grandchildren's money? Now it's up to trillions of dollars. So once again, here's another picture, just so you don't believe me. You know, you got to look at somebody else. The FIDC wants to take your pensions. They've stolen what? Should I even go through what they've done to our economy? Okay. Besides, have you looked at real unemployment? Okay. Boy, this was a planned implosion of our economy, just like they did in the 30s in Germany. Just like they've done this all over the globe. This is what they do best. But now the latest thing to loot, because they already looted the Treasury, they already looted you, they're going to, and they need more taxes, of course, because the bankers are the ones who benefit. Remember, they're talking now on Fox about the value-added tax. Isn't that interesting? And how if we pay an extra 2% on everything, we can pay off our debt. To who? To the private banking cartel that creates money from nothing? The Federal Reserve System that, is it federal? Do they have reserves? Is it even a system? Watch the previous shows. You get an idea where that goes. So anyway, here's some other stuff. Now, show them these pictures. We got Amazon Gate. Oh my gosh, the Amazon forest is going to disappear. The Amazon's going to fall away. That turns out to be a lie, like Climate Gate, like Glacial Gate. Yet, they still want to give you that carbon tax paid to globalist bankers. Don't leave them out, because it's not just them. How about Al Gore, Bernie Madoff, Ken Lay, and Goldman Sachs? Hey, how about this one? You know, you got to see it because it goes right along with the... See, because global warming is turning out to be a lie and a hoax. Even though my school system, Sharon's school system, says that carbon dioxide's bad, right, and CO2 and all this other stuff and global warming, well, that's turned out to be a lie. Are they changing curriculum in Sharon? I wonder. More importantly is, what about this one? You know, we've got, now we've got senators questioning NASA. Boy, did they collude with that East Anglia University? You know, the one that the United Nations used? And you find out that that whole climate change thing is just a global warming thing with a new name on it? And it turns out to be hoax upon hoax upon hoax upon hoax. Oh, the ice sheets are melting. Then you find out that they're 40% bigger than they were 10 years ago. Oh my gosh, we have to hide the decline. Meanwhile, the Sharon school system keeps teaching our children that global warming's real, and it's based on carbon dioxide. Rather interesting how the banksters came up with that so they could tax you when you exhaled. So anyway, that was interesting, and that's why I say follow the money, because it turns out that this is all about money. You're going to what? You're going to buy carbon credits to offset your pollution? Oh, so it's okay if you still pollute if you have money. And it gives Goldman Sachs, the people who set up the carbon credit exchange over here in the United States with Al Gore, Ken Lay, Bernie Madoff. That's right, Sharon viewers, Bernie Madoff. That's right, Sharon viewers, Goldman Sachs. It gets better, because over in Europe, the carbon credit exchange is set up by the Rothschilds. A banking family, no less? So anyway, don't worry. I want, those carbon taxes you'll be paying, that'll be okay. Remember, cap and trade's coming. Yeah, and even though they couldn't, do the Copenhagen thing, your guy, Barry Soetoro, whatever, his name is, Barry Soetoro says, I'll make the EPA call carbon dioxide a pollutant. Oh, wait a minute. Did I say Barry Soetoro? Oh, that's right. You have a new President Hussein, Barack Hussein Obama. But guess what? Let's listen to... Well, hold on. We'll hold on that. Just hang on. We get surprises for you. It's a great show. Okay, so how about this one? Here's a picture. The IMF, the International Monetary Fund, people that also stole your money, okay, they warn of an economic collapse. Wonder what they know. Gets better. Here's something. Revolution, flash mobs, and brain chips. And why that's important. Over in England, they have a Ministry of Defense. And you know what they had? They had some information for us, or for themselves anyway. In 2007, they put out a report. And in it, they said, we're going to have flash mobs. And they said, gee, we'll have electromagnetic pulse weapons. Ooh, sounds like a secret weapon, huh? Gets better, though. They're out there saying that, gee, what's going to happen in the future? What can we, what do we need to do or plan for the Army and stuff? And the one I liked was, the instability risks, where they actually talk about economic collapse. And so now you have the IMF telling you there'll be economic collapse. You've realized that they've stolen everything they can. They've stolen from our treasury. They took all the money from the till. And that's, could that be why they're setting up a police state? Department of Homeland Security, where are your papers? Wonder why, huh? Maybe the bankers will use the government as muscle to, to take over your life. Now they took over your healthcare. Was ist los, Klaus? Is this not what Hitler did? Did he take over healthcare and decide, maybe you don't get healthcare. Maybe you go to some camp. We make you thinner, huh? So anyway, how about the Army Strategic Shock Report? I know you say, Dan, you read the, I told you about the Ministry of Defense in 2007 writing a report telling you that, gee, there'll be economic collapse. Well, here's the DOD from the Army War College in 2008. A report produced by the Army War College Strategic Institute warns that the United States may experience massive civil unrest in the wake of a series of crises that they termed strategic shock. Now, why that's important is they've set up this whole economic failure thing. What's going to happen when you're hungry? Will you be upset? Maybe that's why they're passing new laws. Yeah, and they passed other laws, huh? Maybe, like playing chess, they plan all these moves in advance, at least as far back as 2007 and 2008, let alone even earlier. But it's interesting, one of the guys that they quote in here, Lieutenant Colonel Fryer, he happened to, he spent 20 years with the Army, and he was rubbing the shoulders of a whole list of globalist luminaries, including Zbigniew Brzezinski. Yeah, have you read his book, The Grand Chess Game? Maybe you want to... How about the time between, two ages? Why do I say that? Is because in his book he says they're going to put stuff in your food and your water. That's just like the new Barry Soetoro, President Hussein, our new president. He's got that guy Ehrlich, right? Or no, Holdren. Holdren's his science czar. He says he'll put stuff in your food and your water and your vaccines. Oh, by the way, how'd that swine flu hoax treat you? But it gets better. Henry Kissinger, Brent Scowcroft, Richard Armitage. You remember these names, don't you? Oh, that's right. We forgot. The Army Times of September 8th, where Northcom said they were going to put 20,000 troops on U.S. streets and then 40,000 to put down unrest. The government's taken over your car industry. The government's taken over your health care. And when I say government, it's usually not the little people. I look at it as like a rogue government, criminals who are working for international bankers. But yeah, they need that police state. So anyway, why, what new laws? I guess, you want to remember the Patriot Act, because if you commit a crime, you're a terrorist. The John Warner Defense Authorization Bill, yeah, the president can use other armies inside the U.S. Yeah, they do a bunch of other stuff, too. You should check it out. How about the new Belligerent Act that McCain and Lieberman are putting through? I know you wouldn't believe me. And just think how that'll work with the hate speech crimes. Now, at this time, I'm showing you these good pictures. This is, so you can understand what the Patriot Act's going to be. And also, don't forget your pledge.